Hello everybody, Caleb here, and we are here at the third short track race of the season here in the 2024 Lenovo Pro Series season. And we are closing up on halfway through the season. And just really starting to see, as these races tick down, are really starting to see the ratings come into effect. This is definitely getting really interesting here in the Lenovo Pro Series, but it's going to definitely shake things up here tonight because the starting lineup is definitely a lot different than what we've usually seen. Got a couple of different drivers in brand new places. Have to see how things all go down here from the Toledo Raceway here in the 2024 Lenovo Pro Series season. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Menards 200 here at the Toledo Raceway. Race number 7 on the 2024 Lenovo Pro Series season, and like I said, we're here for our third short track race of the season. Went to Thompson and Bristol earlier on in the year. Here we are here at Toledo. Definitely a very interesting racetrack, and definitely ought to make things interesting here tonight. Got a lot of different stuff that we'll be doing here tonight. Of course, we'll be kind of going through the same format like Alex did last year. We'll be a 50-lap race here tonight. We will have a pit stop, and that pit stop will be in the form of a mid-race break that we will have on lap number 25. So these guys can come down pit road, get fuel and tires, easy come, easy go. Definitely have to see, though, how that shakes things up. It'll definitely be interesting here from Toledo. But joining me up here in the booth for this one, we've got the owner of Intersys Motor Racing, current owners, the team that's currently leading the owners' standings right now, Lenovo Charette. And also joining me up here in the booth, we got Matthew Hubert, owner of Vision Motorsports over in the Haas IndyCar Series. Thank you both so much for joining me here for this one. I'll start with you, Lenovo, because you're a team owner here in the Lenovo Pro Series, owner of the 64 and the 87, which usually on a weekly basis ends up being Matt Tuck and Stuart Gratton, but this week things were a little bit different. Gratton is in the 87 once again, but the number 64 now is being piloted by Bob Haywood. So a little bit of a shakeup in the driver lineup, but we've seen that you all have got some strong cars over there at that team. So what do you think we can expect from your guys and honestly all these other guys here tonight at the Toledo Raceway?
I'm expecting a little bit of a different race from what we usually see in the series because short tracks, at least for our team, are not the greatest, our greatest strength. So yes, and I don't think Dracoan as well is as good on short tracks as they are on the rest. So yeah, I'm expecting maybe the Chaclantesh, which they have 2 wins, but they're not that present on speedways, I feel like. Or maybe Durrani Motorsport, a Torsport Avalon Racing, maybe being more a competitive car today. But we should still be around there. We have a good all-around car. We're just maybe not fighting for the lead, but fighting maybe for the top 5.
Definitely, like I said, I know you all have got some fast cars, but we'll just have to see how things play out. And Matthew, excited to have you up here in the booth. I think this is your first time joining us up here in the booth. So, what do you think we can expect to see from these guys here tonight from Toledo?
Well, it's definitely going to be interesting considering the championship situation. Carson Miller starting up front here in the 98 this weekend for NS Racing, while Stuart Gratton isn't even in the top 10. Definitely going to be interesting to see how this will play out within the next couple of weeks. And also, how it will play out in the constructors, because both Gratton and Matt Tuck are starting in the back, and the Dracone racing cars aren't that great either in qualifying. Hopefully we'll see them turn around this week.
Just have to wait and see. And like you mentioned, Carson Miller there starting on the pole position in a different car that we usually see him in. You usually see him in that Dracone Racing 81, now making the switch over to NS Racing. They're driving the number 98, so that'll be interesting to see how NS Racing does here tonight. They're starting first and third, so they got some good starting spots. And then Matt Tuck is in the 81 this week there for Dracone Racing Enterprises. It'll be interesting to see what he can do. He's starting towards the back of the field along with Stuart Gratton, but we have seen, like I said, that Intersys Motor Racing and Dracone Racing have arguably been the quickest cars so far this season. we'll have to see if they can maybe make their way up through the field here at Toledo. We'll just have to wait and see how it all goes down. Taking a look at your point standings coming into this week's race here at Toledo. It is still Carson Miller up at the top of the point standings with a 27-point lead now over Stuart Gratton. Nathan Orman actually comes in this race third in points, 40 points back. Matt Tuck slipped back to fourth. He's 41 points behind. Dylan Matthews enters this race fifth. She's 52 points back. Nathan Ajiboye comes in sixth in points. Ajiboye has had a really strong season so far. He's missed 2 races, but he is up here in the top 10 in points, looking to maybe even crack the top 5. Have to see what he can do. He enters this race 54 points behind Carson Miller. Felix Mayer comes in 7th, 57 back. Anthony Finelli and Angel Gutierrez are both tied for 8th in points, 60 points back. And Hergelar Alonso and Tanner Parton, they are both tied for 9th in points, 61 points behind Carson Miller, who, like I said, is starting on pole here tonight. So he's got a pretty good opportunity to potentially extend that points lead here tonight, especially with Stuart Gratton and Matt Tuck starting towards the back. But still got a long 50-lap race ahead of us here tonight. We'll just have to wait and see how it all goes down. But enough yapping from me. I think it's about time to get these guys rolling here from the Toledo Raceway. And as they do, we'll take a quick look here at your starting lineup here for the Menards 200 here at Toledo. Of course, as aforementioned on the pole, we got the number 98 of Carson Miller, and he's starting alongside there the number 78. I believe that is Joshua Brown in it this week. And no, it's Joshua Harmon there in at the 78 for the Ronnie Racing. Row number 2, got the number 97 of Bibi Ruiz starting alongside the number 12 of Angel Gutierrez. Row 3, we find the 71 of Drew Webb starting alongside the 33, last week's winner, Warren Smith. Row number 4, we find the 64 of Bob Haywood starting alongside the 99 of Hallie Anderson Jr. And rounding out the top 10, we got a couple of racing motorsports cars. We got the 43 of Matt Black starting alongside the 41 of Anthony Finelli. But there's 4 on the bottom left-hand side of your screen, and then Adovic and Matthew, I'll ask the both of you, who do you all think is going to go to victory lane here at Toledo?
Well, I could take one of my drivers. I'm not going to do that, obviously. I don't want to curse my drivers. I'm going to curse my future, not driver, but teammate. I think Drew Webb's going to win here at Toledo.
It may sound like a stretch, but considering how consistent he was in the first sprint series, Matt Black could definitely be a driver who could win here tonight.
Definitely some solid picks there. Both got good starting spots, and we know they're both fast drivers. Have to wait and see how they do here tonight. It looks like everyone's rolling off all right. And Carson Miller and Joshua Harmon coming through turns 3 and 4, going to lead us to the green flag. 50 laps here at Toledo. Here we go. We're green flag racing here in the Menards 200 here from Toledo. Good jump off the start there for Carson Miller. He's going to lead the opening lap here at Toledo. Bibi Ruiz is going to slot into second to make it a 1-2 for NS Racing, and we're side by side for third between the 71 of Drew Webb and the 78 of Joshua Harmon. Bob Haywood in the 64 trying to make his way through the field here early on in the going. He's trying to make his way up into the top 5. Looks like he's done so as he gets past the 12 of Angel Gutierrez, now trying to work on the 78 of Joshua Harmon there for the 4th position. Out in front, it's the 2 NS Racing cars trying to pull away from the rest of the field, but Drew Webb trying to hang in there, trying to not let them get too far ahead. Just have to wait and see how it all goes down, because these guys are pretty much racing to the race break, and once we get to them, they'll get to have some pit stops, and then they'll all get re-racked and restacked up. But Carson Miller
that outside lane collapsed at the beginning of the race. My God, even for the outside lane standards, usually collapses at the end of the race, at the beginning of the race. I mean, this is bad. You might not even have a single car in the top. Well, the first car on the outside lane is in 7th. This is really bad for this outside lane.
Inside lane here at Toledo is where you want to be. And we're seeing it right now as Joshua Harmon, still stuck up on that outside, continues to drop back there in the 78. He just cannot get down to the inside. Looks like he might have a bit of a gap here. And it looks like he might finally get down unless Braden Perez there in the 17 has something to say about it. And he does. He's going to send it down the inside of Joshua Harmon. And he's going to stay on the outside lane. And he's continuing to lose spots. Meanwhile, as we take a look back here, there's the 87 of Stuart Gratton trying to make his way through the field. And the 81 of Matt Tuck, he's passed a couple cars, but he's gotten stuck on the outside himself. But back up front, Davey Ruiz looking to maybe try and close on his teammate Carson Miller, looking to maybe challenge him for the race lead here.
You know, NS Racing, Nathan Stapleton definitely needs this. Hopefully a boost of momentum. It has been a miserable season for not only him, but Triad Racing as well in the Truck Series.
Not quite been a swan song for Triad Racing over here in the Pro Series either. Entering this race last in the owner standings, and someone's around! That's a 7 of Kamara on his lid!
Oh my God, upside down!
Joshua Harmon was involved in that as well, and so was Gutierrez, who is down the pit lane in the 12.
That happened at the front of
and
the
Kelly Anderson Jr. gets spun around. As we get grouped together under caution, the 72, Spencer Lee's got some damage to the front end.
They're going down pit road.
Yeah, we're going down pit
strategy
road.
There.
What's the fuel window here?
It's probably, it's around, I think, 40-ish laps, 40, 50.
Oh, this might be a fuel mileage race.
Oh, that's not going to help Miller as he gets held up from entering his box by the 12 of Gutierrez. And he's going to get jumped by BB Ruiz. Felix Mayer to second, Bob Haywood to third. Perez to fourth, and Carson Miller's losing a ton of ground. He's been passed by Gratton and by Matt Tuck.
Who did not have a good. Another driver who did not have a good pit stop is Drew Webb. He fell down a couple of starts, and that's very sad for Titan Fury Racing, who has not had a good season here. But
oh, brother. This is not what Carson Miller needed. A really just, man, that sucks.
Definitely what Carson Miller did not want to happen, and he's still stuck in that pit lane.
Might have gotten towed.
I don't know.
That might be race over.
Might just be Trey Wright in the 28. I don't know if he's got some damage as well, but he's still in the pit lane as well. But my goodness. Under our first caution of the night here at Toledo, and a lot of stuff going down under the yellow flag. 98's finally getting service of that car. I believe you're right. I think he might have had to get towed back to the pit lane after overshooting it after making contact with the 12. Yeah, he's probably going to re-enter multiple laps down.
There. This is the perfect opportunity for Stuart Gratton to capitalize, considering where is he right now?
Ninth.
He's in ninth.
Okay, that's gonna be a decent spot. Hopefully he can recover well.
Have to wait
considering
and see,
where he started.
Really quickly, we'll take a quick look at what brought us under our first caution here at Toledo, and we'll get you all back to the racing action here in the Menards 200. The first caution of the night here at Toledo going to involve the number 7 of Sammy Kamara and the 78 of Joshua Harmon coming out of turn number 2. Kamara's going to kind of squeeze the 78 of Harmon in the outside wall, and the 7's going to go around off of the front bumper of the 78 into the outside wall as they go into turn number 3. And they're both kind of just going to ride along the wall. 7's going to kind of get picked up there and then is going to get hit there by the 72 of Spencer Lee, going to almost go over. And then gets hit again there by the 28 of Trey Wright, for eventually coming back down on all four wheels. But looks like everybody involved should be able to continue at the least. But some cars will definitely have pretty heavy damage after this one, like the 7 of Kamara, the 78 of Joshua Harmon, and the 72 of Spencer Lee. Have to see how quick all those guys are after this, but pretty weird crash here into the opening laps here at Toledo. We'll get you all one more replay here at full speed, and we'll get you all back to the racing action here from the Menards 200.
Going into turns 1 and 2 there, Joshua Harmon still stuck on the outside lane, and by the looks of it, Sammy Carrera thought he was clear, but wasn't, and hey, surprise, almost gets turned upside down by 72 there, and I'm going to be surprised if Sammy Kamara is competitive for the rest of this race there.
Definitely be interesting to see if these guys can keep up pace. And then just a little spin there by the 99 of Hallie Anderson Jr. under caution. Luckily, no harm, no foul there. I don't think 99 really has any damage from that. But that being said, these guys all came down here under this caution. So that will void the need for the mid-race brakes. So we will stay green throughout. Just have to wait and see how it all goes down. But a little bit of shakeups under the pit lane as Carson Miller gets held up by the 12 of Angel Gutierrez and misses his box. Has to be towed back. Just going to let the number 97 of BB Ruiz take the race lead. Just have to wait and see how things shake out here on the restart. Here from the Menards 200, here from Toledo. Welcome back to the Menards 200, wrapping up our first caution of the night after Sammy Kamara went around there in turn number 3. And Kamara wasn't even the one that fared the worst out of that. It was the 98 of Carson Miller, who lost a ton of ground under that pit cycle. He's now in the 23rd spot. And you got Trey Wright, who also got held up there in the pit cycle. He's now 24th, one lap down. But coming back to the green flag, BB Ruiz is going to be your leader. Felix Mayer second. Bob Haywood third. Fourth is Braden Perez. And Drew Webb rounds out your top 5 as we're back green flag racing here on lap number 17 here at Toledo.
BB Ruiz has a great jump. Felix Mayer gonna be trapped on the outside as the 64. Bob Haywood's gonna get second here going into turn 1. And how about Braden Perez? Start of the season in that 17 car, looking for third on Felix Mayer.
Braden Perez looking strong here. How about the 4? Nathan Ajaboy started towards the back of the field. He's now up here fighting for a spot in the top 5. And Ajaboy even could potentially gain some points on the race leader, Carson Miller. Like I said, entering this race 6th in the point standings. Like I said, although he's missed 2 races, he's been extra strong in the other 4 that he has been in. I don't know, Nathan Ajaboy could potentially even project himself up in the championship battle if tonight and the rest of the season goes his way. We'll have to wait and see. But he's got another championship contender closing in on him right here. It's the number 87 of Stuart Gratton, looking to capitalize on Carson Miller's misfortune. And he's trying to get himself up here towards the front.
And at this point, I think it's very likely that Stuart Gratton will take the championship lead back from Carson Miller. But yes, I mean, the problem with Ajiboye is he's not completing in all the races, and if he continues to miss sign-ups, he's just gonna miss. He's just gonna miss races. But look at that outside lane. It feels like some drivers are just not able to hit that inside. They're just not able to go fully down, and that's opening the door for everyone. I think like maybe a driver like Drew Webb just not able to go as low as everybody else. And that's really a disadvantage for them.
Look at the 72. Spencer Lee running up here inside the top 10. Look at the front end of that thing. He was involved in the kerfuffle that we had under that caution, and He's not letting that stop him. He's up here in the 8th position, and he's looking pretty fast there in the 72 still. Great run there for Triad Racing after we just talked about them having a pretty tough season. As, oh boy, for the race lead. How about Bob Haywood in the 64? Trying to take the lead away from Ruiz. They're side by side. And Haywood's going to take the lead away here on lap 26.
I tell you what, you cannot get rid of these Intersys racing cars. They always show up and steal the race lead, and BB Ruiz is gonna get his work cut out. And don't look now, Stuart Grant is in the top 5 now, running in 4th. Just got past Brain Perez, and is looking to chase down Warren Smith and even BB Ruiz.
Stuart Grattan on rails right now. Grattan on rails right now, up into the 4th position. Now trying to get to the back bumper of last week's winner, the 33 of Warren Smith, having another good run here tonight, running in the 3rd position. Maybe even with a shot to win. We'll have to see how things all go down. Back here for the 5th spot, and oh, Ajaboye!
Oh my goodness!
Don't know what happened there. He sent it into turns 3 and 4 and slapped the outside wall. I don't know if he maybe got a bump or a hook for somebody. That'll be on the bottom left-hand side of your screen, but luckily didn't run into anybody, and he keeps it straight. That was a near miss there from the 4 of Nathan Ajaboye. Speaking of which, there goes the 72 of Spencer Lee in the wall. Hard hit, and Ajaboye's in it. So is Hallie Anderson Jr.
Goodness. Oh, brother. And it takes out Matt Black.
Oh, and there goes Joshua Harmon as well, as they're racing back to the line.
I was gonna say that they're starting to go 3 wide, and when they go 3 wide, that's usually when the cautions start to come out, and there you go. Cautions is out.
Oh my goodness. Nothing can go right for Matt Black. Still looking for his first win, and of course, gets caught up in a wreck.
Well,
does anyone come in?
Doesn't look like it.
Nope,
they should be able to make it to the end
out
after pitting earlier in the race. So there's 78 of Joshua Harmon coming in to fix damage. That's a tough break there for Spencer Lee. He was having such a good run, even with that damaged race car. Looks like he might have got a little bit of a shot from the back from Matt Black and got turned into the outside wall. And looks like, unfortunately, that thing is going to be taken behind the wall. So is Matt Black. Nathan Ajaboye also out of the race. Same for the 28 of Trey Wright. Man, tough break there for everybody involved. My goodness. Under our second caution of the night here at the Menards 200 here at Toledo. It's been a wild race, but it's been a pretty good race so far here from Toledo. And right now, Bob Haywood is out in front there in the 64 for Intersys Motor Racing. Let's take a quick look at what brought us under our second caution of the night, and we'll get you all back to the racing action here from the Menards 200 here from Toledo. A little bit of a twofer here for the yellow flag here in the Menards 200. Unfortunately, both of them are going to involve the 43 of Matt Black. Down the front straightaway, going to get into the left rear and hook the 72 of Spencer Lee. He's going to kind of ricochet off the inside wall, back up into the 43 of Black, and is going to get turned almost head-on into the outside wall. Huge hit there from the 72 of Spencer Lee. He's going to get spun around there, and then coming in hot, unfortunately, nowhere to go for the 4 of Nathan Ajaboye or the 99 of Hallie Anderson Jr. They're both going to pile in and get a piece of this one. Tough break for them, but we're not quite done yet, as Matt Black is going to come down the back straightaway here. And coming up here is the 78 of Joshua Harmon as they go into turn number 3. Don't really know what quite happened. Don't know if Black was trying to get pit road or if he just got loose, but regardless of what happened, he turns down into the 78 and hooks him right up into the outside wall. And Hard hit there from the 78 of Joshua Harmon. Nathan Orman's just going to sideswipe the 43, which is kind of going to send him into a little bit of a spin there. Nathan Orman, though, was able to save it, so kudos to the 16 for that one. But two separate accidents here at Toledo on the same lap. And both of them involve the 43 of Matt Black. So tough break for him and everybody else involved. Definitely an interesting incident here from Toledo. But we'll get you all back to the racing action just after we take a replay at full speed here from a Menards 200 here from Toledo.
I don't know what Matt Black was doing, but he hooks the 72. 72 completely goes to the outside, so that's unfortunate. The 4 and the 99 completely hit the 72, and then Matt Black just goes on a rampage and decides to kill the 78 as well. So that's a double kill for him, and that'll be a caution. Caution, relatively late caution. We'll go back with about less than 15 laps to go, I think. Bob Haywood, my driver, is going to be leading that one. Could he win the race? Could Stuart Graden win the race? Could somebody else win the race? We'll see what happens as we go back to green here at Toledo.
Just have to wait and see, but like you mentioned, you got your driver Bob Haywood out in front. I'll have to see what he can do here on the restart here from the Menards 200 here from Toledo. We're back here from the Menards 200 here at Toledo, wrapping up our second caution of the night after Spencer Lee got hooked in the outside wall in turns 1 and 2. Unfortunately, going to take them out of the race. But going back to green here on lap number 37, Bob Haywood there out in front for Intersis Motor Racing. BB Ruiz second, Stuart Granton third, Warren Smith fourth, Drew Webb rounds out your top 5. We're going to go back to green flag racing here on lap number 37 here from Toledo. And not the best jump there from Bob Haywood. He's got BB Ruiz all over the back bumper of that 64. But Haywood got a pretty decent run there out of turn number 2, trying to pull away just a little bit, but Ruiz not going to let him go that easy. He's right to the back bumper of the 64. Warren Smith trying to get down to the inside of the 87 of Stuart Granton. He is going to get down to the inside of Granton. Felix Mayer back here in the 27 looking to get by the 71 of Drew Webb. Bob Haywood still holding strong out in the race lead in the 64 of Intersis Motor Racing. I know you're probably holding your breath right now, Ludovic.
I mean, hey, if that could be good though. If the 33 starts battling the 97, this might give a little bit of leeway to the 64. And for Stuart Braden, he's gonna collapse. Yeah, he's probably gonna collapse a couple of more spots before being able to stabilize his position, which is not good for the championship. It means, and also considering that Carson Miller is getting some spots, that means he might not get a championship lead after this.
What a rally there from...
Hang on. Warren Smith might actually have the fastest car in the track now. He might even take the lead. Get the third win for Dutch Atlantis Racing, but here comes Drew Webb. You know he's quick in that 71 car.
Drew Webb definitely quick, but Warren Smith looking pretty fast there in the 33 as well. Had a really good rally there a couple laps ago off of 3 and 4, pulled right up to the back bumper of the 64 of Haywood. This thing's not over just yet. Warren Smith trying to get back up to the back bumper of the 64. Under 10 laps to go here from Toledo. Bob Haywood out in front. Warren Smith second. Webb third. Grattan fourth. Felix Mayer right now rounds out your top 5. Side by side for 6 between the 97 and the number 3. Matt Tuck has found his way up here inside the top 10. He's quietly made his way through the field all night. Now finds himself up here in the top 10. And how about the 61 there? That is Mark Richardson, excuse me, running inside the top 10, I think, here in his first career start. Wouldn't that be something if he could bring home a top 10 for Triad Racing here tonight? But this time by, it'll be 5 laps to go here from Toledo for Bob Haywood out in front, but he went wide there through 3 and 4. Here comes the 33 of Warren Smith, trying to pull up to the back bumper. Stuart Grattan going after Drew Webb for third.
Oh, and I think that's a great move by Grattan. That's gonna give a little bit of a breather for Smith. If Grattan starts battling the third place car, I honestly, if I could be on the radio, I'd tell, I tell Stewart to just settle for fourth.
Smith goes up the racetrack a little bit there, and Drew Webb's gonna sneak to the inside in the 71. We're side by side for second. As Webb looking to take that spot away, does Drew Webb have anything for the 64 of Bob Haywood? Great run there through turns 1 and 2, clears the 33, and he's right to the back bumper of the 64 of Bob Haywood. 2 laps to go here from Toledo. Drew Webb is all over the back bumper of Bob Haywood, trying to look for a way around down the back straightaway. 1.5 laps to go. Webb trying to pull down to the inside. Does he have enough of a run? He does. White flag, 1 to go. Here comes Drew Webb. Webb to the inside through 1 and 2. We're side by side down the back straightaway. Big rally on the top from Bob Haywood. Through 3 and 4. Final time coming to the checkered. Is it going to be Webb? Yes, it is. Drew Webb on a last lap pass wins here at Toledo. Oh my goodness.
Are you kidding me?
That's shades of a Wawa Cup Series champion for you.
What a finish there. Drew Webb, great finish there. Can't wait to see how this will propel his team. It has not been the best start for the Time Fury Racing camp, but Drew Webb getting the win here at Toledo. Hey, look, Carson Menard finished 8th.
That's the car I picked for the win. Wanted to not curse the 64. Well, that's what I get.
My, oh my, what a race there from Drew Webb. He's ran into so many misfortunes so far this season. There's a lot of races that he probably could have, should have, would have won. Just slipped away from, especially Darlington, where he had a mechanical failure from the race lead. Finally getting himself a win here in the 2024 Lenovo Pro Series season. Great stuff there from our 2023 Wawa Cup Series champion. But, man, oh man, taking a look here through your finishing results here from the Menards 200 here from Toledo. Drew Webb walks away with the win. Bob Haywood, still a statement second place finish here. Bob Haywood had speed all night. I think that might be definitely some momentum there for Haywood. Warren Smith comes home in 3rd. So, good run there for him as well. Stuart Grattan comes home in the 4th position. Felix Mayer rounds out your top 5. And looking further on down the field, you got Tanner Parton in 6th, Matt Tuck 7th, Carson Miller still comes home with an 8th place finish. So, good there for him, trying to limit the damage as much as possible to Matt Tuck, and Stuart Grattan did a great job coming home in the 8th position. BB Ruiz comes home 9th, and Mark Richardson is going to come home with a top 10 finish there in the 61 for Triad Racing. But, my goodness, final thoughts, you all. What'd you think about what we saw tonight here from the Menards 200 here from Toledo?
Well, that was a race of all time. We had it was a bit of a caution fest, but ultimately, I think that's a lesson in not being too aggressive, because some of the drivers who were too aggressive ended up in the wall here, and yeah, it's good for Titan Fury. Honestly, a win for them that's gonna propulse them in the championship. It maybe not be second to last. They're probably not gonna be second to last, honestly. But yes, that's may revigorate them for that second half of the season that's coming very quickly. My cars finished 2nd and 4th. I cannot ask for better than that, really. But so yeah. Dracoan did not have a great race. That's sad for them, but that's good for us.
Well, I'm going to call it right now. This might be a sign for how the championship will play out. Stuart Grattan finishing ahead of both Matt Tuck and Carson Miller. I'm not going to try and say anything yet, but, well, it's definitely good to see Drew Webb get another win for Titan Fury Racing before switching over to the Grand Autosport Alliance next season. It really sucked that NS Racing couldn't capitalize on the 1-2 there at the start, but you know, that's in our things happen like that.
Sometimes it's just the way the cookie crumbles here, but definitely going to be interesting to see how this championship shakes up coming out of this one. But the next race is going to be the Cabarrus County 150 from the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the first race that I did, taking over from the Lenovo Pro Series last year. That's going to be a pretty special race. That race is going to be going up next Tuesday, October 8th, on a Tuesday once again, at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sign-ups for which will be going up tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I hope to see you all there, but thank you so much to Ladovig and Matthew for joining me up here in the booth for this one. Once again, congratulations to the 71 of Drew Webb and Titan Fury Racing for getting the win here at Toledo, and I will see you all in Charlotte. Y'all take care and have a good one. Here is your point standings after race number 7 on the season.